"2024 is no more. It's over, Johnny." This is the Spitball Media podcast where we spit out the top entertainment stories of the week, year-end edition on a Monday night. My name is John Draper. Shaheen, happy holidays, happy end of 2024.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, I'm not used to these Monday shows. I totally forgot we were doing it until B Show tagged me on Instagram like an hour and a half ago. I was like, oh shit. I didn't realize we're doing the show tonight.
I know. It's just it's strange.
I was like halfway sleeping. I just saw a tag on Instagram. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm like, oh shit, we're doing a show. I was like, oh man. Yeah, I'm not used to the Monday thing.
No, well, don't get used to it.
2 Mondays in a row, man. You know?
Don't get used to it. And of course, he is the mayor of Burley Town with a haircut and a beard trim and a Darth Vader shirt of some sort, I believe. Star Wars. That's some sort of sci-fi movie. He's Bish O'Brien. Bish O'Brien, how are you?
Good. It's a niche movie, you know. It's
yeah. Is that like the Battlestar Galacticus?
Yeah, it's like the space truck. I'm
Space Whoas.
Space Whoas.
Space Whoas.
Did you ever see Hardware Wars? Everyone knows Spaceballs, but have you ever seen Hardware Wars?
No, what's Hardware Wars?
It's supposed to be like a Star Wars spoof from the 70s, like really goofy, kind of in the vein of Spaceballs, but
really?
Yeah.
Have you heard of it, Shah? It seems like something you would have heard of.
No. But speaking of Hardware, have either of you watched the movie Hardware?
Fucking love Hardware.
Is it good? I missed out on that.
Oh, it's like the fucking.
Shit, I gotta check that out. Then
you guys love it. I've been trying to get you guys to watch that movie for like years. That and Dust Devil.
Well, you know who made it, right?
Yeah, the Richard whatever guy. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that did a Color from Outer Space, I think.
Color Out of Space, and he did Isla of Dr. Monroe.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hardware. What's Hardware Wars? This looks great. Wow, that guy even is this Italian?
I don't.
Oh
think
my
so.
God, Shah, this isn't available on Vinegar Syndrome.
Ernie Facilius.
I would watch this over Star Wars. Like I would actually watch.
Oh my God! Just
I can already tell.
Just move over like a hot minute.
Move over, Terrifier. Budget 8,000. Box office 1 million.
Damn.
What?
Damn. Jesus, dude.
I've never seen this. It's just one of those things I used to see.
Don't put
at the
any
movie
audio
store.
on because it'll suck the life out of the room. But like, I just want to see some of the visuals. So how did you find this, B Show?
I don't know. I remember when I was a kid looking for videos in the video store and I saw Hardware Wars and I had no idea what it was. And I've never seen it, but it's like this weird. I can't even describe it. It's just a really strange looking parody of Star Wars.
Amazing.
This is like David Lynch's Dune.
He looks like he's in the Ramones. This guy looks like Johnny Ramone.
Ham salad
instead of Han Solo. Are those balls? What are those? Oh, that's an iron. Oh, now it's losing me. This wasn't like an SNL sketch. This was like an hour and a half movie. Oh my God, they're using the Tin Man. There's no copyright. This has to be European. Shah, are you buying this right now?
I would totally buy this if it came out on Blu-ray.
Look, she's talking to like a vacuum. Like
it's a fucking vacuum.
Shah, it's a literal R2D2 is a literal vacuum in someone's 70s basement.
This is terrible.
Bisho, this might be the greatest thing you've ever brought to the show, and you've brought so many wonderful things.
Hey, you're not always right, but when you are, you are. So.
Oh my God! Look at this abortion on wheels. That's an iron. I know it's meant to be funny, but
egg beaters.
Look, it's an egg beater. Okay.
Has anybody in the chat ever seen Hardware Wars?
Oh,
I know there's a delay, so let us know.
Oh,
absolutely
shit.
Not.
Well, listen, if you're joining us now, look at this abortion. We normally
was that the Cookie Monster? Was that
it was
Cookie Monster?
It was a Cookie Monster in the dryer.
Dominican Cookie Monster right there.
It was like a test puppet.
What made him Dominican?
It was like a test
because he's
puppet.
brown.
Oh shit.
Just everyone know who's saying what. Just keep in mind.
Not the two white guys.
The non-Caucasians.
The brown guy said it. It's okay.
The non-Caucasian can say whatever he wants in that capacity. But in case you're joining us for the racism, or not for the racism, we spit out the top media stories. We've been doing it for quite a bit. We watch trailers. We talk about fun shit. And we have a Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/spitballmedia. Boy, are you in for a treat-a-rooski. You got a ton of stuff just waiting for your show, like 1,100, 1,200 hours of exclusive content.
Yeah, like entirely way too much of us, man. There's way more of us than you can ever handle on the Patreon. And we did some solo shows. I'm banging on that after we do this tonight. So.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Fun
And
stuff.
B-Show, $5. Locked in price forever, man.
Can't beat it. Hard to get anything else for $5 nowadays. God knows I just went Christmas shopping for the kids. So thousands of hours of content at this point, hundreds of shows. Go check it out, man. There's Q&As every month. We're all three doing bonus shows this month to fill out the year. And I don't know, man. I feel weird just talking about it all the time, but it is a really good deal. And I think you should go check it out. Join the club.
Yeah, and of course, we're going to go back to the regular schedule. So you get weekly mini shows every week, and you get 2 exclusive bonus shows. And one of those bonus shows, Shah, is the signature of our show. That is our monthly Q&A, which is going back in effect for January of 2025.
Yeah, what have we've skipped the last 2 months. We've done theme shows, I believe.
Well, the holidays, yeah, because we've done for the holidays.
So, it's exciting to go back to the Q&As. We haven't done it in 2 months, and they were getting really good, man. They were getting long. Some of them were like 2.5, almost 3 hours long.
It's a lot of content.
Like
fucking what?
Don
Stoney submitted so many questions. He's going to be the first bonus show of 2025.
And I think that was Don Stoney's first month in the Patreon. Like literally, like his first thing. I just joined. I know these guys a bit. I'll pop in. I'll send them a question. Well, you're getting the bonus show. We carried it over for 2 months. So the first bonus show of 2025 belongs to a friend of the show, Don Stoney. Speaking of friends of the show, B Show, who do we got hanging out with us tonight? I haven't looked in the chat yet.
Well, Don Stoney is there.
Oh, speak of the devil.
John JLD 999 said he's going back through the Patreon catalog in 2023 and said it's really worth it. So check that out.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Thanks, John.
We've got Rich Dow.
Hey now, Rich Dow.
Got Kevco TV.
Old friend there, Kevco TV. He's an old friend.
Buddy Chris Matthews.
The legendary Chris Matthews is in the building.
We've got our friend Marquise.
Marquise, happy holidays to my pal Marquise.
The adorable Drew Yari.
He is too adorable for Texas. I think he's going to have to move out because he's just taken over the adorableness of the Texas ratio of adorable qualities.
We've got AJ Daniels.
Oh, what's up, AJ Daniels? Thanks for hanging out with us.
We got Chuck.
Chuck, old friend there. Chuck's another old friend.
And I think I said Joe Punches already, but if not, there you go. A second time.
Mr. Punches. Well, we got all of our pals chilling with us. Almost all these people are part of that Patreon. Hope you guys enjoyed the bonus shows. B-Show just dropped one. I got to listen to that tomorrow. I think he dropped it yesterday. And, of course, Shah is doing one for you tonight. But next month, we'll put the link out for the Q&A. Don Stoney has those high honors of the first bonus show. But I'm sure that January Shah Q&A is going to be a wild one.
I'm actually very excited for that episode that Don Stoney were referencing.
I know. It's good.
From what I can remember, it was like a pick one or the other, right?
Yep. Yeah, it was a pick'em. It was so good. B Show, we were like, oh, maybe we should probably hold this over. It's too good to do in the Q&A.
Yeah, it was enough to do a full show on. Oh, and Fatty 316 just joined the chat.
Oh, what's up? The Bayou Geeks are in the building.
Yeah, but there was like 40 or 50. Pick this or that. There was franchises. There was horror villains.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Yeah. That's going to be an awesome Q&A. Oh, my God. And thank you, Don Stoney, for joining us and, of course, for contributing in such a big way. And thank you all you guys for such an awesome 2024. Now, listen, we're going to be talking about the year in entertainment going into 2025. But the big story, which you've heard a lot about pretty much all year, is the Christmas release of Nosferatu. And it put up some pretty goddamn good numbers for those of you interested in those kinds of things. Nosferatu was a wild success in a very short period of time. It almost recouped its entire budget in 3 days in North America. I think B-Show coming in somewhere around 41 mil.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up, but it's kind of slow. According to Variety, $40 million this week.
And it's a $50 million box. It's a $50 million budget, Shah. So it's the second highest grossing Christmas Day release of all time. I mean, it's got great reviews. Before we get into the meat of it here, Shah, where do you stand with this box office? I think it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I never really thought about like how much they would be debuting at, but 40 million is certainly not something I was expecting. Good for him, man, because I know the last one, the Viking movie, what was it called? Northman?
Yeah, it took a beating, took a bath.
Yeah, that took a big beating. So I'm glad that he's successful with one of these bigger, budget movies, because I want to see him do more of this, man. I mean, obviously we'll get into a review in a second, but I'm happy for him, man. I'm a big fan, always will be.
Yeah, and B-Show, I'm fairly certain this is director Robert Eggers' biggest opening of all time.
I think the article goes on to say that as well. You sent it earlier. Yeah, man, very surprised. I figured just in all the movies we talk about and what they open at, I figured somewhere between 15 and 20.
Yeah.
I figured to be respectable for what it is, kind of an art house release type of thing. I didn't think that it was going to do this well for sure. 40 million. That's pretty good for an opening weekend, especially around Christmas.
Yeah, when we consider one of those days is a Christmas Day Wednesday. So
yeah, and as Mr. Blaine RT says, Lion King 2 is playing as well. So
oh wow, geez, thank you, Mr. Blaine. Thanks for chilling with us tonight. So listen, we're gonna go there because this is one of the very few times cinematically that all three of us saw the movie in the opening stretch here. Now, to back the car up a little bit, if you've been following us for a while, or even for a little while, Shah, I think it's very fair to say that we were very invested in this movie from the announcement. Is that kind of fair to say? Like before they even shot a frame?
Yeah, absolutely. I can only speak for myself. Like I don't generally like vampire movies at all. I'm never excited for them, to be honest with you. I found myself very excited for this movie. Again, because of the association with Robert Eggers, obviously, but yeah, I've been hyped for this the whole year.
Yeah, and of course, Bisho Brian. One of the pitfalls of something like this is it's often difficult to live up to hype, especially this kind of hype, whether it was from the horror aspect, the director's reputational aspect, the fact that this was almost all shot on location aspect, Christmas Day aspect. Like they had a lot to live up to here, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know about you, but I felt like they had a lot to live up to.
They did, and the first theatrical release of the Dracula legend, technically, and almost 100 years old, and everyone is familiar with the visage of Count Orlok or whatever he was called in some of the other movies. And then you've got the remake from the 1960s or 70s. So I mean, there's a lot of lore, not just Christmas, not just that it's kind of an artsy movie, not just that it's Robert Eggers, not that it's a Wednesday. There's a long history there to overcome. It's almost like, in 50 years, someone saying, "Hey, we're going to remake Star Wars." And it's like, I don't know. We've tried that, didn't go so well, and then it knocks it out of the park.
Well, let's get right to it. First and foremost, again, I want to stress, we all saw the film over the holiday break. We will not be getting into probably very specific details, but it is a remake, a retelling. There's not a lot of big surprises there. There's not like, we'll do we never really do spoilers necessary. But before I get into Shah, Kevco TV said Jimmy Carter was alive during every release of this film in theaters. Isn't that what kind of amazing? Jimmy Carter just made it, Shah, so that he could see Nosferatu. Three of them.
That's a pretty insane fact. I did not know that.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I did see that on Twitter today, too. All right. Well, again, this was a pretty big undertaking here. And Shah, I want you to set the stage first with your impressions. I believe you saw it Christmas Day.
Yeah, I saw it Christmas night to a surprisingly full theater. I was pretty shocked. There was a lot of people out there. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a popcorn bucket, which pissed me off. That's what I wanted to get. I liked the movie a lot. I loved the way it looked. It was exactly what I expected. The gothicness of it. Like, I love gothic horror. I felt like this was a throwback. It had every visual that I wanted out of it. I got. My only complaint was the way that he looked. I wasn't a big fan of that. That was the only thing that I had to complain about. And it's mainly because of, the mustache, and I get why he did it. I think he was trying to stay true to, what like the original Dracula looked like and Vlad looked like. They all had mustaches in every picture that, we've seen on display. So I think that's like, I respect it, man. I get why he did it. Just for me, he didn't look creepy enough. But I'll get into the, details later on, but overall I liked it a lot. My only literal complaint is the way that he looked.
Okay. B-Show Brian, first pass there. Like what day of the week did you see it, and how crowded was your theater?
I saw it Saturday night.
Oh wow.
And my theater that I saw it in wasn't huge, but all of the stadium seating was full. Yeah. And there was a few people on the floor. And just like some of the people in the chat are saying, "Hey, what's up, Robbie Richmond?"
Hey, what's up, Robbie?
It wasn't just older cats or people our age or our demographic. It was all sorts of people. I had younger people in the back. I had not families, but like you could tell it was like cousins and stuff going together,
families.
husband, wife, aunts and uncles. So there was a ton of people there. In fact, most of these movies I pick my seats out ahead of time and I sit kind of by myself so I'm not right next to somebody. I did that because there was enough seats, and by the time I got there was someone on each side of me.
Oh wow.
So it was that, not packed, but put full. I would have to agree with Shah. I mean, I'm sure we'll get into it, but it looked fantastic. Some of the camera work, just the way the camera moved and encompassed and what was going on in the shot was fantastic. I just did not expect him to look like Soda Popinski from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Yeah, or Jim Carrey in the Sonic movies.
Dr. Robotnik.
That's what I originally thought of. That's exactly
Jim Carrey from Sonic. I don't know the character's name. I'm sure I'll get G-checked.
Dr. Robotnik, yeah.
Dr. Robotnik. Okay, he looks like Dr. Robotnik. Now, I saw it 11:50 on the 26th. I was still upstate. I was on my way down to BK for the holidays there for the weekend. I took my oldest, who's 21. No pretense about the movie. I just heard about it. Just saw some things. Was like, yeah, I think I want to see that. Okay, great. They weren't as familiar with obviously Robert Eggers or anything like that. As now, I have now seen 3 of his 4 movies in a theater. Okay, it's pretty good average. So my theater was pretty crowded. It was a very mixed bag. A lot of 20-somethings there, a lot of older people there, and bigger like groups. I did notice families there, which is a strange, And I am also, I'm a weekly moviegoer early by myself, so I'm not used to this. So like for me, I'm like, oh wow, there's a lot of fucking people here. Some dude got up 3 times, like before the fucking movie started. I was ready to fucking throw some shit, but he checked himself for the rest of the movie because I think that third one I gave him the eye, like, yo, B, I'm not gonna keep getting up like this.
Did you take the teeth out like the last time?
They were already out, I think, by the time he threw up the third time because I put them in the pocket, because it's popcorn time. Visually, my first reaction just from the visuals, outstanding. There is no substitute for on location shots. And I told you guys this about Gladiator. It reminded me of that in a lot of ways because I knew when I saw something that was real. I knew when I saw water, it was like, like it was real water. It wasn't CGI. I knew when I saw a castle, it wasn't a CGI castle. I know when I saw that dude when he first rides out, the first 20 minutes, and there's that long ass shot as he's going through fucking Germany to the unknown country or whatever. I was like, that looks amazing. And then he gets to like where what they call the gypsies are. That's what they're referred to there. I know people don't like that, but that's what they're referred to. And it's like, this looks real. This looks real. This looks real. This looks real. The colos look real. And I was just really taken aback by that. By the time I finally got to see Count Orlok, I feel like the hype hurt. I think it was better to just show the motherfucker if he was going to look like Dax Harwood, if with AIDS. Like, AIDS Dax. I do. I just feel like it would have made more sense.
AIDS Dax Ferratu.
AIDS Dax Ferratu. That's the thing with me. Now, that's not the only thing I have to say, but that's what I'm saying for my immediate pose there. I do want to say this before we proceed. And anyone in the chat who has seen it, I think quite a few people in the chat have seen it. Did anyone else notice the entire movie, there is no sun? There's never really sunlight. There's very little sun. And there is a hue over everything you see, a gray. It is like, Sean, I was thinking about you when I actually said this to Violet midway through the movie. And I was like, do you notice how gray everything is? She goes, yeah, it's like a film. It's like a gray, like there's like a hue. And I feel like that was a mood setter that something very terrible is happening, even in these moments where he's flirty with his wife. And, it's not, we don't really know, they're having a party and all that. It's still shot like there's still this like gray, like a gray across screen to screen. Like it's just gray. It's not, I don't know what it is. I'm probably not articulating it properly.
He was using a lot of cool colors, a lot of blues.
Cools.
Grayish cool, blues. Right. So yeah, I felt like there was a blue tint to the whole film until the end, of course.
Till the very last
ending,
scene.
Still had that,
Till the
But yeah,
very last scene.
Yeah, but I mean, blue typically in movies represents like dreadful feeling. You know what I
Dread,
mean?
right? Yeah, like there's something terrible is coming.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's
Same with
what
like
I.
irreversible. You know, like everything is red. It's supposed to make you panic and just make you feel uncomfortable. So yeah, I mean, they definitely strategically use all these colors for different reasons.
Yeah.
And Robert Eggers, dude. I mean, this guy is a
He's a
fucking
maniac.
mastermind of this
Fucking
shit,
maniac, dude.
Everything that he does, there's a formula behind it. So best
Yeah.
believe those blue hues were used for a reason.
Yeah, Bisho, did you notice like that you never saw daylight and it was never sunny?
Yeah. It was. I almost when they walked outside for the first time, when the husband is going to his
Horse
place of employment. It
Oh, yeah.
reminded me.
So great.
It reminded me of A Christmas Carol.
Yes. Oh my God, I thought
Yeah.
that's you. And it's
And I
Christmas
just-
in the movie.
Yes, and I was watching it and I was thinking it looks like one of those gray December days where it's not snowing, but it looks like it could at any moment just because it's so gray.
Where you know snow is coming and it's a long buildup. And then can I just say this before I forget it? It's one of my favorite little nuanced scenes in the movie, which we will get to more. We're now halfway through the film and we've now been introduced to everybody and they're preparing for something and it is Christmas. And they have the old school Christmas tree in Germany in 1838. And like all people like who study these things know that back then to illuminate the tree, they just put like 400 fucking lit candles in this thing and let the chips fall where they may. And at one point, Willem Dafoe, this character motherfucker, takes the longest pipe I've seen since Inglourious Bastards, since that opening scene, and sticks the pipe into the Christmas tree to light his giant pipe. Like, and I felt like that was Shah. The only levity I felt in the entire movie was like it was like a little brick was, and he lights this huge pipe from a lit candle in a fucking Christmas tree. And I'm watching this on Christmas, the day after Christmas.
Yeah, I loved Defoe's character, and also I think she did amazing. Johnny Depp's daughter, I thought she was tremendous in that.
Lily Rose Depp. Yeah.
Lily Rose Depp. Yeah, I should be respectful.
Lily Rose Depp. Yeah.
Say her name. I think the most fascinating part to me was the fact that you told me that he damaged his vocal cords for this movie
permanently. Yeah,
because that voice is fucking beyond haunting, man. Like knowing that there's no special effects behind that shit gave me goosebumps the whole time because it hurt my throat just listening to this guy.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that more than anything. I mean, this guy is like really like an actor, you know what I mean? Like that's some fucking dedication, man.
Well, let's just cut to the chase with the reveal. Bill Skarsgård of the very famous Skarsgård family. He's Pennywise. He's the new Crow. He was a principal in Barbarian. And I'm forgetting about 400 other things. Supposedly he wants to be Joker now. I don't know how serious that is. They're thinking because I thought they had that worked out. But he's I want to get to him. Bish O'Brien, take me through when you finally get that reveal, not the tease in the beginning, the dream, but the actual sort of reveal. Where were you as far as that? Like, was it an immediate sort of like, oh, this is disappointing?
Strange. Like I described it to, I think, Robbie Richmond in the chat. Like, to me, it was odd. It wasn't enough to ruin it for me. But like when he goes into his chambers, and again, guys, this is like Dracula. So if you've seen that, you've seen
it's very, very Dracula formula.
Yeah. I loved the old castle. It's super dark. You could barely see anything. And then I thought it was going to be a situation like Bram Stoker's Dracula, like where you have this spiffy, fancy-looking nobleman who ends up transforming into this ghoulish creature.
Yes, that's what I thought too. Yeah.
Instead, the guy he was just in shadow, and then you see him. Now, here's one of these things where like I didn't like it, but I respected the choice, I guess. Robert Eggers did an interview and was talking about the look. And he said he didn't like the fact that a lot of these guys wore like proper suits and tuxedos, and they like were these handsome looking guys. So what he did was he asked himself, what would an undead ancient Romanian nobleman look like? Because that's what he is, and that's why he went in that direction. Mm-hmm. And technically, when you think of the story, not to spoil much, but he's essentially called from the dead to be, attracted to this person.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense. Now, it makes sense on paper, but I don't know. When I saw it, I was disappointed, but I guess I got it. But that's the first thing I thought of was Soda Popinski, and then you said Dax Harwood, and I lost it.
Yeah.
To me, it wasn't enough to ruin it, and I get the choice. But knowing, like, I don't understand, other than making it completely your own. You have the 1920s silent film where he looks smooth and white and
amazing
and ghoulish. And then you've even got the 60s or 70s Werner Herzog
still looks
one.
the same. Yeah, still looks the
Yeah,
same.
so like I don't understand why it didn't look more like that. Like the mustache, fine, but like why he didn't look like rat, almost like a rat or a ghoul or something like that.
Yeah,
that
more
was the one
ghoulish.
thing that confused me. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think we could call him Dracs Harwood because it's Dracula. Shah, your first reaction when you finally get that real reveal at the castle there, prior to some of the hijinks that would happen with the lead Nicholas Hoult character there. Your first when you finally saw it, were you immediately disappointed, or was it a gradual disappointment?
For the first few minutes, I was hoping that wasn't going to be the main character. I was thinking like maybe this is a setup for us to see Nosferatu. Yeah, man. I just wish they would have just shaved this dude clean. Fucking shave his head, the hipster haircut. Like the handlebar mustache. Like it wasn't working for me, man. I know why they did it. I think it would have been so much creepier because you look at the first two Nosferatus. You're going into it expecting them to look somewhat like that.
And they look the same. And
Right.
Willem Dafoe in Shadow of the Vampire looked like that too.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that was a little disappointing just seeing that kind of bothered. I mean, that's my only complaint. I loved everything else. I loved the ending. That ending scene I thought was tremendous. I fucking
tremendous.
Loved
that. That's Robert Eggers' end of the movie.
And honestly, I think that's probably one of the most important things is the fact that the ending was so good, because that's where most films fail at.
Yeah.
But then again, I can't pretend like it's a minor complaint that I don't like what the main character looks like. I just think they could have done so much better because everything else they hit it out of the park. And I was just like, fuck, man, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody looked at this and was like, this is a little goofy looking. We could do better. But again, at the end, he looked creepy. The ending scene, he looked fucking super creepy. But prior to that,
with the Adam Cole legs.
Yeah, that was kind of wild, dude. That was kind of wild. For those who haven't seen it yet, the last 5 minutes is a bit of a fever dream. It's pretty. It's like.
Well, a lot of the movie is a fever dream, like in and out of consciousness, and not sure what's going on with these characters and if they're dreaming.
Because they're nightmares. Because he's inducing nightmares in her. I want to talk about the other characters, but B-Show, we got a bunch of new people that just joined in the chat.
Yeah, AEW Neckbeards, what's up, man?
What's up, Neckbeards? Happy New Year.
Big Bert's 1 just jumped in.
Big Bert's 1, Happy New Year.
Kevin Castle.
Kevin Castile is in the building.
Bob Fresca, I think.
Bob Fresca, Kevin Castile, and then I think Joseph Marr, an old friend.
Marr jumped in. I was trying to catch if someone else did.
Yes, we don't try not to miss anybody. Thank you guys for checking in. We are doing a deeper dive on Nosferatu, mostly spoiler free. One thing I do want to bring up that the criticisms that I saw that were pretty involved. The voice, a lot of people do not like the voice.
Really?
Oh yeah, look it up. People are not. Wow. The Drax Harwood vampire look was not for a lot of people. The only thing that people seemed to really appreciate was those fingers, which were fucking outstanding, and of course the coat and that sort of thing. His coffin, his sarcophagus. People were universally panned this. I'm going to say this. I haven't seen too many people say this, but I'm seeing more people say it. Nicholas Hoult was not very good, and Aaron Taylor Johnson was terrible. Was terrible. Both of them were outclassed by a more novice Lily Rose Depp, who got her start in Yoga Hosers and doing that HBO show where The Weeknd banged her every 5 minutes and nobody watched it or seemed to care, even though she was doing full nudes in it and banging this guy. Wasn't even enough to make people that interested. The girl who played Cassandra Nova in Wolverine Deadpool, she's some actress. I don't know. She's been in a couple of things. She played the friend character. She was quite good. It's a good. She was well cast in that. But Bish O'Brien, I thought Nicholas Hoult in particular, but Aaron Taylor Johnson, I thought they were literally terrible. Yeah, not Nicholas Hoult, not as much as Aaron Taylor Johnson. Nicholas Hoult was
Aaron Taylor Johnson, which one was he?
He's Craven, but he is he's the friend. with the wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought the same thing too. And I don't know if it was just his performance, which wasn't great, or his voice. Like for some reason, when I see these dapper like 1800s guys in top hats, I don't expect him to sound like Tiny Tim. He was very bubbly, but like I would expect a voice something like Hardy Harumph, you know?
Yeah, and
he
he's
was
like 6'3", playing a big pussy, which is you should have casted a smaller stature actor, I think.
Yeah, and these guys are like, "Oh no, get me out of here!" And the women were fantastic. The women in this movie were
fantastic.
great.
Emma Corrin, thank you. Old Robbie Richmond, thank you, Robbie, old friend there. But Alan Taylor Johnson, who is both Kick-Ass and Craven, and Nicholas Hoult, who is also About a Boy, which was a fucking wonderful movie. I love that movie. And he's Beast in the X-Men, the younger X-Men. Shah, where are you with those two, with the acting in particular? If we're taking Count Orlok out, we've already said we all believe Lily Rose Depp was tremendous. Where were you with the male leads other than Defoe, which I want to get to Defoe in a second?
I mean, to be honest with you, I thought everyone for the most part was good. I didn't notice anybody out of place or anything. I'll have to rewatch it and pay attention. Nothing stood out to me though. I thought everybody pretty much was on par with what I expected. This is something I would rewatch though in the movie theater, as much as I'm complaining about what the character looks like. Yo, did you expect him to be that tall? He looked like he was fucking like 6'8".
Who, Orlok?
Yeah.
Well, Skarsgård's a tall kid too. But
is he? I didn't think he
he's
was.
Like 6'2". I think he's about 6'1", 6'2". They're all him, his brother, his father. They're all tall. They're all like Swedes or Norwegian. They're all Norwegian giants. They're all trolls. So, Shah, you weren't put off by any of the acting there. I just felt. And by the way, both of those two men are Brits. They're both real Brits. Oh, I'm pretty sure they're both Brits.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't notice anything. And I was pretty much into the movie. Like I was really trying to dissect the whole movie because I knew we were going to give a review. I didn't notice any bad acting.
Nicholas Hoult is also Shah Lex Luthor. He's the new Lex Luthor. And the other kid,
you thought was there? Let me look up the character.
Nicholas Hoult, Aaron Taylor Johnson, who was in that Craven movie that made about $3. They're trying to make this dude a thing forever, and I don't think he has any range at all. I think they were outclassed the second Willem Dafoe came on the screen. B-show. I think it was lights out.
Yeah, absolutely. And Robbie, maybe as bad as Keanu and Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah, because Keanu couldn't deliver that dialogue. Like, and I love Keanu. I adore Keanu Reeves. I think he's one of the greatest celebrities ever. I love that guy for life.
And you know who I'm becoming a big fan of? Not to shut the door on Willem Dafoe, because I know we'll talk about him, but Ralph Ineson. He was in either but he sounds like Alan Rickman.
He's from The Witch. He goes back with Eggers to The Witch. Shah, did you pick up my man from The Witch in there?
I did.
Yeah, his voice, and he is Galactus. He is now the voice of Galactus in the Marvel universe.
So he did a lot of comic people too.
It was one of the demonic ones. It was either the first Omen or Immaculate.
The Omen, I think.
He's in that opening scene, maybe. The opening scene. He's
like the guy trying to track her down to explain what's going on and investigate.
He's got this dude as Galactus is gonna be amazing. He's great. Smaller part for him. And I liked the guy who played who turned out to be a fucking Satanist for people. The fucking real estate guy is a Satanist. Shah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Who was the Satanist?
The real estate guy who sent him to the castle. You see him carving pentagrams in himself.
Okay,
it was the dude's boss. Yeah,
his boss who ends up in the asylum because he's like the Renfield. He's like the Renfield.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, that character reminded me a lot of the other character that was in Bram Stoker's Dracula, the guy that was jailed and he was eating all the flies and shit.
Renfield. Who is Tom Waits, famous musician. Tom Waits is Renfield. Incredible performance from Tom Waits.
Did you notice the correlation between the two stories? Like they were very similar.
They were almost the same story in every capacity.
Because isn't Nosferatu like I said, the first visual telling of the Dracula legend?
Yeah, based on Vlad. But for some reason, I don't know why they never wanted to tell that Vlad story. I think it's too involved because it involves war and torture, and it's like we'll just fictitious it up. And Music Head joined us. What's up, Music Head? Thanks for hanging out. But Shah, I have to say, I really thought you might call out some of the acting. I thought you would.
Well, Aaron Taylor Johnson, I just looked him up. Yeah, he was a cornball in the movie. I didn't think it was particularly bad, but I didn't like his character at all. Yeah, he was the one. Yeah, he was probably my least favorite person in the whole movie.
Yeah, he was absolutely my least favorite person in the whole movie. I did like
too much of a pretty boy. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, he was playing, I think, a rich friend who like has this great life, and like he's like, oh, I'll give you money, ha 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 ha, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, but he looked like a pretty boy from like today's era. You know what I mean?
He didn't look proper. Nicholas
Yeah.
Hoult didn't look proper either. B-show. Nicholas Hoult did not look proper. I feel like everyone should have had that facial. I mean, he probably couldn't pull off facial hair. That kid.
No, it almost reminds me of. I lost it. Never mind. But no, I completely agree with you guys. Willem Dafoe played the part. He had he has a weathered life experience look. Ralph Ineson has that same look.
Yes.
And Lily Rose Depp, because maybe her
Features.
skin tone or whatever, just being kind of pale and sick, almost like her dad, kind of pale and sickly.
Yeah.
Really fit in as this almost Victorian era, like
totally
tortured soul. Yeah.
Totally believable physically. Like even her face B-show, like even like me and Viola would talk about it. I go, yeah, because Bob's like, I think she kind of looks like her father a little bit. I go, yeah, but she has like her own, like even the shape of her face is it's like a portrait. Like, I don't know, like if she just was very gaunt, she seemed very gaunt in that movie. Which is also probably on purpose.
Well, yeah, like the deep set eyes because the shadows. And,
her bone structure. She was fantastic. But Shah, let's talk about your man. Well, your boy, your man, your number one, Willem Dafoe. From the second this dude steps into that film, I believe he takes over that movie in a lot of ways.
As to be expected, though. That's kind of what I expected from him. I love the fact that he has a good relationship with Robert Eggers. It seems like he's going to be featured in a lot of his movies moving forward. They almost have like a Scorsese and DiCaprio relationship. You know what I mean? It's the opposite. The age is different.
For sure.
But I love that. Even the guy that did Dogtooth, what was his name?
Oh, Cosmos.
No, that's the guy that did Mandy.
Oh my gosh. Good Lord. There's so many of these.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
The Dogtooth dude.
Because he's in love with Willem Dafoe now too. He just every movie he makes is
he's using Willem Dafoe a lot too.
Yorgos Lanthimos.
Lanthimos.
Isn't there a bidding war over Dafoe's next projects?
Probably. He's so good, dude.
I've heard Robert Eggers and someone else, it might be Yorgos, fighting over who's going to have him for the next few movies.
I mean, those are the two that are pretty much collaborating with him nonstop over the past few years. I loved him in the movie. I thought he was tremendous. I loved him in The Northman. I love those two collaborating. I thought he was going to have more of a part in the movie, even though he's featured in a decent amount. But yeah, as soon as he came on the screen, he pretty much stole the whole fucking show, man. I mean, it's Willem Dafoe, man. It's my favorite actor of all time, I think, at this point. So
now, B-show, I think Shah is already going to agree with me on this, but I want to ask you first. I smell several Academy Award performances coming from this film, nominations, and we may have to wait. Now, I think it qualifies for the upcoming awards, but I am going on a limb now, and I'm going to say that both Dafoe and Lily Rose Depp will be nominated for performance awards, possibly.
Oh, I would agree. I would not be disappointed in that whatsoever. Her physical acting alone. There's a couple of scenes that I'm not going to spoil, but she's writhing around and they're trying to cut her out of her buttress or her whatever it's called, the girdle.
Bustle. I think it's a bustle.
Her bustle.
We called it a bustle, I think, in America, but they called it like something else there.
Gotcha. So like stuff like that, the way she's like very intently and earnestly delivering the craziest lines about the scenario that she's finding herself in, but sells it. And then Willem Dafoe plays, even though he's playing that Van Helsing type of character that's crazed but intelligent, like he plays that line so razor thin to where it's not over the top and campy, and it's serious enough to deliver and really sell it. So yeah, both of those. And like you said, some of the choices like lighting the pipe in the Christmas tree.
Oh, I love that.
And the way he turns and says, "Let it burn," or whatever.
Right before he burns the sarcophagus. Yeah. That was, and you just see the fire behind him, and he's got his rough. He just looks so, and he's a little dude, but he's got that big cigarette leather beaten voice, in any accent. And he was playing a Swede. He was not playing a German. He was playing.
It was a Swede, yeah. And that was one of the funny parts of the movie. Is they're like a Swede,
Swede.
Professor von Frauschen, and he's like a Swede. Like, why would you bring a Swede in here? Yeah.
Shah, Academy Award nom for Dafoe.
I think Dafoe absolutely, and to be honest with you, I think my favorite performance in the movie was Lily. I think.
Yeah, she was fucking great.
I thought she stole the show. You know,
She was. She
the
had a lot of
points where she was
dialogue.
getting all the sexual scenes and the
Yeah.
points where she was getting like demonic. I was like, yo, this girl's fucking good.
When she and Nosferatu invented reverse cowboy for cowgirl for the first time, that was pretty impressive. Hey, before we move on, music head is Mr. Anderson, our good old friend, Mr. Ronald Anderson. Happy holidays to you, our dear friend. Shout out to Mr. Anderson. He's in the building with us. Listen, I enjoyed the film. It did not blow me away as overall. I felt like it was 20 minutes too long, especially since we've seen.
Too long.
20 minutes too long. We've seen this. We know the story before it starts. I feel it's very performance driven. Some outstanding cinematography. Costumes should win an Oscar. Possibly cinematography should win an Oscar. The score is perfect. I just think the choices that impacted me really impacted my enjoying the film, which was the length. I felt the second act is a little long, too long, and the build up to get to finally go after this motherfucker takes too long. And then also the weaker sort of performances from Holtz, from Aaron Taylor Johnson, for me personally, hurt the film. And then the fact that he looked like he was going to chase Sonic through some rings instead of eat somebody. I would say it is good, but not great overall. And I'm going to say this right now because somebody already asked me this offline. This would not have made my top 5. I did not enjoy this more than any of those other movies that I put in that category. And I find it almost that it's weird even calling it a horror film. There's so much debate that this is not a horror film, that this is a period piece. But Shah, where would you put it in the context of the other movies that you enjoyed this year?
I mean, it would definitely be in my top 10. I don't think it would have changed my top 5.
Wow. Okay.
It would probably fall somewhere behind Immaculate and maybe Omen. I would say maybe number 7 or something like that. I would definitely consider it a horror movie, though.
Yeah. I mean, but it has so much going for it outside of that genre as far as.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the same thing as like Bram Stoker's Dracula. You know, that's very similar to this. I think that's an amazing double feature.
It's a beautiful movie. It's a beautiful movie. I think Bram Stoker's Dracula played on more color of the day. Like, look how bright this red is. Look how bright this green. There was very look at how gold this cold costume is. It was more like that. It was the 90s, early 90s, whatever. I feel like it played more on the color of the day. This was, let's take color completely out of the fucking sky and save a little bit of sun for the very end, that there's a new day is dawning. But yeah, I think we're on the same page. Bisho, would this have made your top 5?
In the moment, thinking about it, maybe because I'm a fan of, obviously, the old silent film, and I love the Dracula tale. Honestly, I liked it a lot more than I think a lot of people did, so it probably 6 or 7, maybe. I don't think it would have cracked my top 5.
Okay.
But, I was really, this year, and I was going to tweet about this earlier and forgot, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this. This year may be the strangest year I've seen for people ranking movies. Because I've seen
a lot of that going on.
I've seen people hating this movie, loving this movie, hating Late Night with the Devil. A ton of people love it. There's people that usually love everything that are like, nah, smell you later on this movie. I can't predict anymore based on this year what movies people I know are going to like, because it's just so all over the place.
Well, let's do it, because I wanted to put this in the context of the best films of the year. Now, obviously, 2 weeks ago, we ranked our top 5 horror films. Hopefully you've checked it out. We had a lot of rollovers, a lot of the same movies there. But as I look through other people's lists, and I think Necromaniacs is dropping theirs next week or the week after, they're doing their 666. Coincidentally, a movie that my brother, I finally got around to seeing, that was in my top 5, your top 5, and all 3 of our top 5, that he did not see. He immediately saw and said, "Oh, this is going to my top 5." He just saw it the other day. I'm not going to say what it is, but I did want to talk about the year in overall, because unlike the blockbusterness, Shah, that we kind of came out of from just 2 films pretty much in 2023, but we enjoyed the horror genre so much in 2023. I think 2024, from a genre standpoint, may be the greatest year in the history of horror cinema in movie theaters of all time. I could back this up with dozens and dozens of films, not just American films, but films that we have not seen in the UK or from Asia, that are just supposedly knock you the fuck out. Where do you stand on the end of the year for this genre specifically, which has now carried Hollywood for the year the way comic book movies normally do?
I mean, it's honestly hard to argue that this wasn't one of the more successful years when it comes to horror. I mean, dude, we have probably at least 20 solid movies that came to the movie theater.
Yeah.
You know, Omen, Immaculate, Maxine, Cuckoo, Longlegs, Nosferatu. What else? What else we got? Terrifier.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a shit ton of Smile.
In a Violent Nature, Smile.
Yeah.
I mean,
Heretic,
Substance, which Strange Darling. I mean, it's all over. I mean, it's all over the place.
Speak No Evil. I mean, there's just tons. The VHS movie. I mean, it didn't come to theaters, but
yeah, and neither did Late Night with the Devil, which obviously is wildly successful.
Yeah, I would say 2022 is still my favorite, just because we had like Crimes of the Future and Pearl and Men and X and just so many like weird movies. But this is probably the strongest year overall, I would say.
You don't think this year was stronger than 2022 because it had just as much, whereas you could name maybe 7 amazing movies in 2022, you maybe could name 20 in 2024.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's definitely overall a stronger year. I just prefer the movies in 2022 more because they impacted me more. But overall this year, it's hard to say there's been a stronger year. I can't, in my lifetime, I can't name it.
Yeah, and B-Show, it like started out pretty good, I think, and then it just kept piling on. I mean, we're closing the year with Nosferatu, like as being globally accepted as a successful film, well received, probably going to get nominated for some Oscars. If not this year, then next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Joe Punches has a point. It wasn't just that there were some good horror movies. It wasn't just that there were successful horror movies. There was such a wide variety of different types of movies, some that were small indie films, some that were massively successful, some surprises. So I think not just from the selection, but from like the wide variety of types of movies you can watch, I don't think you can argue that this year was, successful or not. It definitely was. In fact, when I was doing my solo show yesterday or the day before, I pulled up an article.
Which can only be found at patreon.com/Spitball Media for $5 a month. Sorry, guys.
Absolutely. No, thank you. There was an article that came up that said 100 of the best horror movies of 2024. And that would mean that there were more than 100 horror movies that came out in 2024.
Oh, my God.
And I believe that.
And I think the final count was like 132. So 132 horror movies were released in 2024. That is fucking...
And guys,
crazy.
Again, we didn't even scratch the surface with Europe and Asia. We didn't. We just couldn't. The field was too crowded. There's a whole catalog of movies that we went through in a list on the Patreon a few weeks ago where we were reading description shops, some of these films going, holy shit, I got to remember this movie. Let me write that down.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, Bisho just mentioned, 132 movies. We probably watched close to 60, 70 of those trailers. So it's totally believable that 130 came out. Like that's...
And between the three of us, we probably saw 40 or 50.
Maybe more, I would say.
I don't think there's been a year where I've watched more new horror movies than this year.
Never.
Yeah. Because I literally watched every single thing I wanted to watch. The only thing I've missed is The Heretic.
The only thing I missed, I want to see that Exuma movie. And then there was that German movie about the girls. Remember, they were like, it looked really like a girls' school or something. I got to go back to that creepy list.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
We were like, what the fuck is this? Like,
it's like Maria or something like that.
Some weird. It might be German. It's something like that. I mean, yeah, Shah, like you like, but you made the effort, and maybe in years prior, you, me, or B would not have made this effort. It wasn't for the show necessarily. It helps, but if you didn't want to do it, you wouldn't have done it.
Right. No, definitely. Another movie I missed out that I do want to check out is I've heard really good things about this one is Red Rooms. I've heard amazing.
And my brother Mike said something about milk and cereal or something on.
Oh, yeah, that's on YouTube. That's the movie that's on YouTube.
Yeah, Mike said my brother was like, please watch this over the weekend. I was like, I'll try to watch it tomorrow. None of us have. If anyone's seen that milk and cereal, whatever, on YouTube, I heard it's pretty goddamn good. Mr. Anderson brings the real big question here. 2025. Is it possible, B. O'Brien, for 2025 to duplicate or come close to what we've experienced in 2024?
My gut would say no, but that's what we said in 2024.
Literally a year to the day. Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would like for it to be true, but I'm also the only movies I've really seen on a slate, Marvel style, are a lot of remakes, reboots, throwbacks. So, using that to judge, I would say no. It may have like the commercial appeal of like a Saw or a,
Which I think we'll have a movie next year.
yeah. So there's stuff like that, or the Insidious movies and shit like that, which I'm not a fan of. But if we get more surprises like Longlegs or The Monkey, which is coming out, what, February?
Monkey comes out in 6 weeks. Not even.
Yeah. So if there's a lot more movies coming out in between like that, then yeah, I mean, keep the fucking good times rolling because fuck, put it in, man.
Okay.
Take my money.
Shah, we all agreed, I think, that we said in the year ends 2023 that we were not thinking 2024 would be as enjoyable. We all admit we were probably wrong. Where are you today after coming off of ending the year with Nosferatu?
Well, yeah, I mean, this year definitely was one of my favorites. I'm a little scared about next year, if I'm being honest with you. Mainly because most of the properties that have been announced are like Blumhouse and mainstream shit that they're revamping essentially. But, keep in mind, we didn't know last year that movies like Cuckoo and
Strange Darling.
Yeah, all these independent movies were coming out in between. So, Final Destination is coming out next year, and all these, I think a Silent Hill movie's coming out again.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
remember Sinners with Michael B. Jordan? John GLD brought up in the chat.
Yeah.
We dug that trailer. I'm also hearing good things about that the werewolves movie that just went to digital. People have seen it. People are saying this is a old throwback practical effects horror movie with werewolves and guns. Like, cool.
Don't forget we gotta Talk to Me too next year too.
Yeah, and Companion, Don Stoney, thanks for bringing that up, is the Barbarian People's new movie with the dude where we watched the trailer where the girl sets her hand on fire. And
I saw the trailer for that.
Doesn't that look amazing?
Nosferatu, yeah.
Doesn't that look amazing? So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for 28 Years Later. Shah, did you see the trailer?
I did.
The theater?
The only two horror trailers they showed was Companion and 28 Days Later.
Okay.
Or 28 years later.
Yeah, but that like what with that narration is going, like 1, 2, 3. It's just the theater is so intense.
Yeah, it's fucked.
I remember Violet was looking. I was like, "Wait, do you see this trailer?" And she was like, "Jesus Christ!" I go, "Yep." Let me know if you want to go see it. Yeah. All right, let's take a look. Let's just take a quick look at 2025 here. Now, be sure. I think this is in some kind of order, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but The Monkey, which we talked about, The Bride.
Osgood Perkins, The Bride. Oh, yes.
Is it The Bride of Frankenstein?
Yes, we've been talking about this.
Black Phone 2.
Wait, who's doing The Bride? Is that the...
I think, if I'm not mistaken, is that...
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, okay. Maggie Gyllenhaal's directing it. Pretty cool.
Let's see, 28 Years Later.
28 Years Later.
Vicious.
I think we talked about Vicious. Can we click on that? I'm just curious because what is Vicious?
Upcoming American horror film written and directed by Brian Bertino.
Yeah, Brian Bertino. Isn't he the original Strangers guy? Pretty sure.
Maybe.
He's the Good Strangers. Okay.
Saw was at 11.
Saw 11. Companion. Wait, I can't wait for God, Companion looks good. I'm excited for the Wolfman. I don't know. I like the Wolfman. I like what's her face. That kid's from that movie we like, Shah. He's the star of it. Christopher something. He's pretty good.
Yeah, it's another Blumhouse movie. I watched the trailer for that too. I forgot.
Looks all right. Mm-hmm. I want to see the Wolfman.
We've got Final Destination Bloodlines.
Those are fun movies, but they're just not necessary. Like the kills are usually always great.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy those.
Screamboat, which was one of the
God
Mickey Mouse properties,
and the Bambi horror movie.
Yeah.
Oh God, good Lord.
Conjuring: Last Rites.
Oh, just stop already.
No, thank you.
Megan 2.0.
Yeah, made a lot of money.
Until Dawn.
Can you click on that? That just looks like a Twitter post.
Yeah, there's probably not much on it.
Peter Stormare, who's that? Wait, he's great. Hold on.
A group spends the weekend in a ski lodge on the anniversary of their friend's disappearance, unaware that they're not alone.
All right, we'll see who makes it. We'll check.
Sounds like an old school slasher.
Yeah. What's this one? Frankenstein.
Oh, Shah.
Yeah,
that's fucking Del Toro. We'll get Del Toro's Frankenstein next year.
And Bride, yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God, double feature.
Jesus Christ.
Ash.
Never.
Have we talked about that one?
No. What is Ash?
Raya wakes up on a mysterious planet to discover her crewmates have been slaughtered when a man named Brian arrives to rescue her. An ordeal of psychological and physical terror ensues.
All right, I might check that out. Got an interesting cast. It's by Flying Lotus.
Dracula, a Love Tale.
Well, less said about that, probably the better.
Fear Street Prom Queen.
Okay,
Netflix.
I never watched Fear Street, but I heard good things.
Sinners, which is the vampire movie from like
New Orleans, 1920s. I'm into it.
Heart Eyes.
Oh, click on this. I think I've heard of this. Hold on. This might be something big here.
Did we watch the trailer?
What's the description?
There isn't one. Let me see.
Comedy slasher?
Heart Eyes.
I can't find like a synopsis. Oh,
right.
Heart Eyes Killer has wreaked havoc on Valentine's Day by stalking and murdering romantic couples.
Oh, it's probably a
pretty
horror comedy. All right.
Yeah.
Thread, an Insidious Tale.
Ugh, done
No,
with that.
no, thank you.
I know what you know. What I know. What you know.
Oh,
what
I
you did
know
last
what
summer.
you did reboot. Okay. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how unattractive Jennifer Love Hewitt is in 2025, which is a shame because she was gorgeous.
Yeah. Dust Bunny.
I feel like I've heard of that. The Gorge. What is that Empire there? What is that? That's for
Wildwood.
What's Wildwood? Oh, some of these I've not heard of. Travis
Stop
Knight.
motion animated dark fantasy horror film.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Okay. Could be fun.
Let me get back here.
A lot of stop motion recently.
Oh, you watched it?
No, I'm just saying we're getting a lot of stop motion. You got this
Yeah,
Wildwood
it's making a
one,
comeback. You know, it's
stop
making a
motion.
comeback.
Last year we had Mad God, and then we had that other one that.
Yes, that's right. Mad
Abrupt-
God,
what
which
was
was like 20 years old, but yeah.
Abruptio.
Abruptio. Yeah, we love
Oh,
that
yeah,
trailer.
the
That was
puppet one.
amazing.
This one, Whistle. A misfit group of unwitting high school students stumble upon a cursed object, an ancient Aztec death whistle.
Oh, God.
Oh, shit. It's a horror teen horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Okay.
Die, My Love.
I love. Don't know who that is.
Lynn Ramsey. In a forgotten patch of countryside, a woman is battling her demons, embracing exclusion, yet wanting to belong, craving freedom whilst trapped, blah, blah, blah.
All right. It's based on a popular book, I think.
Okay.
What's that?
The
The
Ritual.
Ritual. Okay. Sounds like there's 80 movies with that name, dude.
Uh-oh. This is
It's not a
27.
remake. It's not a remake of the 2023 Ritual, is it? 17.
No,
Two
that's
priests
probably
must
not.
put aside their differences to perform a series of dangerous exorcism on a possessed young woman.
Oh, okay. I like that concept. Satan's back.
That poster though, that screams.
Yeah,
low
poster's
budget as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Rabbit Trap?
Rabbit Trap.
Oh, it's with the guy from that monkey movie.
Okay.
And
Married
Green Knight.
couple Daphne and Darcy Davenport are two musicians who moved from London to a cottage in Wales to complete their new album. But there's
Okay.
nothing else other than that.
All right. What do we got there?
Amsterdam 2.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
Sounds
What else?
terrible.
The Raja Saab.
Raja Saab. Indian horror. Okay.
Looks like it.
And what's that one at the very end there?
A corpse in Kensington.
Is this all Philadelphia?
Well,
What
The
the?
mysterious killing spree ignites suspicion among three former classmates who have rekindled love in their hometown. I would imagine this is Kensington, like UK
Yeah.
or something.
Okay.
That's
All right.
misleading, man.
Well, it's got some look. It's got some interesting movies in there from some big names. There's some sequels, and we're just scratching the surface. We're also getting, I think, a Five Guys at Freddy's or something next year. Like, there's a lot of things we haven't even touched that we're getting next year. But Mr. Anderson was just asking us horror film that we were disappointed because of our expectations of it. I'm going to answer for the three of us because I already know what we're all going to say, and it's Late Night with the Devil. Could you guys think of a movie you were more disappointed in from hyped up that you thought was going to be better?
No, I think we did that topic last week, didn't we?
I don't know.
Terrifier 3.
Terrifier 3, maybe, but
we're on the bonus. We talked about it on the bonus.
on the
show.
bonus. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we did a bonus last week, but we might did it at the top five.
Yeah.
Late Night with the Devil, I think, signifies something where we're out of step with everyone, like as far as that goes. But nothing would make me change my mind. I saw it. I watched it again a little bit. I couldn't get into it. But listen, the year is over. Shah, wishes and expectations across the entertainment industry for 2025.
Shit, man. I'm hoping we get more independent movies like we did this year. I'm putting pretty much all my faith into A24 and Neon at this point. So I'm sure they're going to pump out 3 movies each that I'll probably enjoy, which is what they did this year. So there's at least 6 that I'm looking forward to that haven't been announced. So I guess that's what I'm most looking forward to as far as the ones announced. Maybe like, I don't know, I guess the mainstream ones, maybe Final Destination. But yeah, that list didn't really move me though. There's not really much on there that I'm like, oh shit, I want to see that. Companion look cool, but that's about it.
Looks good. Yeah, and by the way, there's a million things not on that list. That's that's not a
even
robust
Talk
list.
to Me and like I said,
Talk to Me
Silent
wasn't
Hill.
there. 28 years later wasn't on there. I mean, this could be a fucking huge movie.
Yeah.
It's the most watched horror trailer that's ever been released online first. And Bisho Brian, expectations for 2025 going into the movie industry. What you would like to see happen in movies across genres, of course.
I'm walking into it cautiously optimistic. I'm not going to expect the surprise that was this year. I'm hoping for some more neon type of stuff. I'm actually starting to like neon a little bit more than A24 at this point, but it's all good. So I'm not complaining either way. Frankenstein and The Bride, I'm looking forward to quite a bit as well. Just those classic. I just haven't seen a good Frankenstein movie in a while. I don't think they've remade The Bride, have they? Not since like the 40s, 30s or 40s.
I think they had a version of it in the 80s with Jennifer Beals, who was in Flashdance.
Oh,
Jesus
Christ!
I'm almost positive. I think they did, and I don't know if this is a modern retelling or a classic retelling. Whereas the Del Toro is clearly a classic retelling. As far as that goes, for me, I'd like to see some more independent films. I will go to my grave thinking Strange Darling should be a game changer for small market films and the way it was made. Terrifier 3 is officially the most successful film of 2024 profitability wise, which I would never have guessed. So that tells me, if that can happen in that genre, it should happen in other genres. I would like to see it happen in different genres. I saw a movie last year. I told you guys it was by, I think, a Korean American woman, a small art house movie that got nominated for every Academy Award. I forget the name of it. I'm doing it a huge disservice because I saw this movie twice and I thought it was absolutely it was one of the strongest movies I've seen in a long time. Got a lot of hype on it. She was nominated for a bunch of awards, but the movie was small. The movie was low budget and it worked 100 ways. I would like to see more of these movies in theaters and less at my house. And I have very strong feelings that the comic book industry will do some type of course correction in 2024 when it comes to these films. There is a lot riding on the DC movies. There's a lot riding on Marvel, bringing people back to the theater in the way it was before. There's a lot riding on Disney Plus, which is the most expensive streaming service of them all, and raising prices every year dramatically by 30-40% to put quality TV on there. I got a kick out of watching Wolverine Deadpool on Disney Plus. It's filthy. So I would my hope is for the independent films, not necessarily horror, but independent. I want to see independent action movies. Like I saw a couple of years ago, that Sake of Vicious movie. I want to see more shit like that in the theater.
Yeah.
I would love to see a new, whether it's Canadian, North American, indie, like an indie John Wick shot. Like, can somebody make a low budget indie John Wick that would just go and holy shit? I think it could happen. It's got to get there first. You know what I mean? Shah, can you imagine if you saw like an indie, like 80s themed, like action movie in a movie theater?
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised nobody's tapped into that yet because, all the vintage stuff is very much what people enjoy today. We've seen them go back into the, cheesy horror movies with the practical effects and all that stuff. Even like Street Trash, Vinegar Syndrome just did that.
We got to see the remake. We got to see that in the new year.
Even Vinegar Syndrome, they love 80s action movies. Like, I'm surprised they're not investing in remaking one of those movies. You know what I mean? Because obviously they're making money now. They're making their own movies. Like, they just did Street Trash. That's their fucking movie.
They paid. They paid to put it in theaters.
Don't be surprised though if they make one of those movies happen, because I can see.
Yeah, I would like to see the Toxic Avenger in some capacity next year. It seems very unlikely. It doesn't seem like anybody wants to pay for it, which is
so sad.
So sad. That trailer was so good. Just this might end up being a documentary about it 25 years from now. That would really float my boat next year. I'm going to keep my movie pass. I would like to continue to see more small market movies in the theater, like I said. But I'll be there for the comic movies. I'll be there for the horror movies. And we're going to be here for you in 2025 on Thursday nights at 8:30 on the East Coast. Please consider going to patreon.com/Spitball Media in the new year if you haven't already. We want to thank everyone who has ever connected with the show in any capacity, giving us an outstanding and fun year. We want to thank everyone in the Patreon, many of whom who have been there for years and contribute constantly to the show, sharing things with us, giving us topics, giving us questions. What a fucking phenomenal group of people we have cultivated across the board here. And we want to thank you guys for giving us so much fun. On a personal note, this was the greatest year of my life. I am beyond happy, and I will spend more time doing happy, fun things and less time on the internet. That's my goal. Before we go, anyone in the chat got any sort of New Year's resolutions they want to share before we get to the plugs? B-Show, do you have a realistic or an unrealistic New Year's resolution before we go?
Just keeping things in perspective. Like I was trying to do my year-end wrap-up, and I started recording an episode just talking about some shit, and I just thought, you know what? With the people we have and the shows that we do and the stuff that we cover, like we could cover the three of us could start a wrestling show tomorrow.
Oh my God.
And tap into a following because the people crave that shit. It's very ravenous, the fan base. I wouldn't want to put up with all the other people that come along with that. Like our show's already gotten some review bomb type reviews just because of association.
Because of wrestling, yeah.
Yeah.
Because of wrestling.
It's like I don't want to deal with that shit. And that's part of the reason we haven't set up a Discord server. Because I would love to take this group of people, this community, and grow it into a community because this is awesome. Like we don't have to put up with a lot of the trolls that I've seen other chat rooms for other shows.
We don't ever.
No. This is just great. We're just talking about shit we like. So, no, just whatever brings us more of this, I want to do that. That's my resolution.
Okay. So. Shah, any resolution before we get to the crowd?
Hopefully get a little. I'm really happy how I came up like career wise this year, so I'm hoping to capitalize on that and just make some more money. As far as personal life, take care of my last dog. Right over there, spoil the hell out of this little bastard.
Yeah, rough year for you. It's a rough year for dogs, man.
As far as this, man, I think a Discord server would be amazing. If we do that, because I know a lot of these YouTube channels, they have their own Discords, and we don't really have to do much. People just chat and they just put up what they want.
And we could build it out almost like a thread too, like an old school message board where you have different topics people can talk
exactly.
about.
So people can
maybe that'll be our resolution to try to get the Discord server.
And and people can post trailers in there. That way it'll be also easier for us to go back as far as topics because you can just scroll back through there. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea. I think that would be great.
All right.
And hopefully sell this house, man. I'm getting tired of this fucking house.
I've been hearing about you selling this house for a long time, my friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell this house next year. Get a new one.
Hey, come move on my block, man. We'll have a good time. Listen, B-Show, can we read our pals' resolutions while I get the plugs together?
Yeah. So John GLD 999 says he's going to try to get back in the gym and get off the internet as much as possible.
Like that.
Marquise, smoke more weed. All right, man.
Look who he's talking to.
Joseph Mars says working 24 hours from now through the year changeover.
Through the new year. Oh, okay.
Music Head. Okay. Ron Anderson says he's doing placement demos for Disney and video game developers next year.
Jesus Christ.
Good luck, man. Good to hear that. I know you've been working your ass off, man.
Hell
I'm very
yeah.
proud.
Nobody works harder than Mr. Anderson.
Yeah. Let's see. John JLD, it's always such a fun vibe in here. Chris Matthews, he said he wants to take a moment to say he appreciates us, all of you, us in the chat as well.
We love you, Chris.
Yeah, and good luck. I know he's making some career moves right now.
Yeah, he's making some big life changes this year. A lot of people in the chat I know made some big life changes this year.
Rich Dow, make money, fuck bitches, you know.
Hey now.
John JLD says he's being honest. Try to make more friends.
Make good and real ones.
Yes.
Make the good and real ones, young man.
Let's see. Matthews to say consistent.
Joe Punches, are you getting married at the end? Or is that a goal? Is that are you getting married next year?
Are you getting married or is that a goal?
I don't know.
There's like
He's
a
just
20-second delay. So
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's never like live. I just want to see if that's like wow, because I have a wedding I have to go to on Halloween next year. It's
that's pretty cool.
wow. Joe punches. Look at this. He's getting married. Look at that.
Congratulations,
Wow.
Joe.
Wow. Joe, you'll love it. I've been married so many times. It's always a fun party. Let's put it that way.
John loved it so much he did it.
I love it
3
so
times?
much. I did it many times. I'm not going to say the name of the person because I don't. I heard a song. You would know the song if I sent it to you guys. It's in a big movie, but it's not from a famous person. And I always looked up. It was a female singer. I wonder what happened to that girl because that was such a catchy song. Then I come to find that she has other venues and things that she does, and then it says she quietly lives upstate New York with her 8th husband. And I was just like, I kind of want to do a deeper dive on this 8th husband. Like, this is a girl I heard of one song.
I thought you were going to say you got competitive. Like,
no, I was like 8th, and the girl, she's like a couple years older than me, and I'm like, wow. 8? Homegirl did this 8 times? 8? Which you're not getting 8 out of me, I can tell you that. I think I'm done. But let's plug our pals. The last plug's at 2024. Let's plug Deathmatch Outlaws. Let's plug the Drew Yari Experience. Let's plug the Rich Dow's podcast. Cassette Classics 86 on YouTube, the Down on the Thundercast. Don, Tony, and Kevin Castile. The Necromaniacs podcast, their top 666 is coming up in a few weeks. You want to check them out. And, of course, the Wrestling Soup. The Inhuman Experience podcast. We have my friends Ringsiders Wrestling on YouTube. Mojo and Dirk's Most Dastardly Show. The Garden of Doom. We have the Old Guy Metalcast, MJW Games. Cherry Jesus on YouTube and his band Kaiser. Our good friend Sam Hoyos' podcast, Red River Podcast, and his band Playing Dead. Bayou Geeks, that is Fateh 316, and of course the High Marks Podcast, the Midnight Mass Creature Cast, Weekly Detour, that's Anthony Alston and Teddy, and the Guns and Geeks Podcast. And Shah, we just want them hitting that subscribe on the old Planet Mondo, don't we?
Yeah, for now, just subscribe, hit that bell button because you'll never know when I pop up. I'll probably be doing some live streams. I don't think I'll do pre-recorded stuff. It takes too much editing, but maybe some live streams.
Okay, so hit that subscribe. And of course, the B Show Brian channel. You just dropped a lovely solo episode on the old Patreon. But anything going on the channel?
2025. Stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled. BShowBrian.com. If you subscribe there, you'll get a notification when something goes up. Got a couple of ideas, but I'm just getting sick of having ideas, and I might just start pulling the trigger and releasing random shit. So stay tuned.
Yes, and of course, please hit that subscribe to the B Show Brian channel. Please hit that subscribe to the Spitball Media podcast. Consider going to the Patreon if you haven't in the new year. Give it as a gift, as a New Year's gift, maybe as a new gift idea for someone in 2025. Hit that subscribe on the YouTube, and of course, hit that like button, share, and boy, I'm gonna enjoy spending 2025 with all you cats. Much love. Shah, do we have our final plugs for our stuff?
Yeah, you can follow us at Spitball Media. You can follow John at I Am John Draper, B Show at B Show Brian, and you can follow me at Planet.Mondo.
And of course, thank you once and for all in 2024. And please, not to sound like your dad or your mom or a combination of both, please be careful tomorrow night. If you're driving and getting fucked up, just make sure that you got a safe place to go and a safe way to get there. And if you're home, make sure that, you got enough frozen pizza for when the urge comes in the middle of the night. I've been there. It's always a downer. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah going on right now. Happy New Year from Spitball Media. And we'll see you a week from this Thursday, 2025 at 8:30 on the East Coast. Peace and love.